brother Lanre Adenekan, welcoming you to the Really Knowing God channel as I lead this fellowship of information and inspiration in the knowledge of God, all powered by the Pastor Lanre Adenekan Center for Inspiration. This is the Daily Gem Devotional, making you a gem to your generation and a gemstone upon the crown of Jesus. We're sharing truth this morning on it pays to let people feel respected, make them feel respected, and that's coming from Acts chapter 15, 1 through 5. Shall we pray? And right after we dive into it together. God of heaven, we give you glory and honor. Praise, O God. We worship and bless your name. You have been to us a God in our generation according to your promise. Let your name be glorified. As we go on to share this morning, we require your help, O God, because it's not by power, not by mind, but by your spirit. We claim it by faith with thanksgiving. Thank you, Father God, in Jesus' holy name. Amen and amen. Hallelujah. Acts 15 from 1. And certain men came down from Judea and taught the brethren, unless you are circumcised according to the custom of Moses, you cannot be saved. Therefore, when Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension and dispute with them, they determined that Paul and Barnabas and certain others of them should go up to Jerusalem. So the apostles and elders about this question, I beg your pardon. So, being sent on their way by the church, they passed through Phoenicia and Samaria, describing the conversion of the Gentiles. It caused great joy to all the brethren. And when they had come to Jerusalem, they were received by the church, by the apostles and the elders, and they reported all the things that God has done with them. But some of the sect of the Pharisees who believed rose up, saying, it is necessary to circumcise them and to command them to keep the law of Moses. Let's stop there. We have a bit to share. So, obviously, the news of what was going on with Paul, and Barnabas was all over the place, and most likely it has now reached Jerusalem, where it all started from. Okay, and so certain people got to hear it, and they felt very strongly about that. So they traveled up north, to where Paul and Barnabas were, and they began to just teach around, to the brethren. No, you've got to be circumcised. You cannot be saved unless you are circumcised, And they really, Bible says they went around teaching around that area. Now, they ought not to have done things that way. They knew that Barnabas and Paul, or Paul and Barnabas, were the main champions of this message or the gospel to the Gentiles. They were the main proponents of it. They were the ones who were leading that new movement, call it, and they knew that they were there. Yeah, and so, but they never went to them. They just began to preach around the place, and that was disrespectful. It's not good. They knew that Paul and Barnabas were there. They knew they were around. They knew they were the leaders of these things. Rather than go to them, this is what we heard. Let us talk about this thing and see how to give the brethren a balanced view of it. They never did anything like that. As far as they were concerned, they were there to correct this nonsense, and then they went around teaching and things like that. So that's why verse 2 became what would naturally ensue. Therefore, Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension and dispute with them. So it would naturally follow. But you see, if you had shown some respect, we know that you have worked a lot in this area. We know that you are in all sincerity of your heart. You must have prayed and fasted and worked so hard to have sustained, what is going on here. We have heard of the great testimony. We just have a little concern, about so and so, and then you can discuss together. That honor they never gave Paul and Barnabas, and it led to a lot of, arguments and debates and confrontations and all the rest. So you see, what we are saying is this: it is important to let people, or to make people feel respected. Let them feel appreciated. Let them feel respected in whatever circumstance you may find yourself. Okay, in the workplace, in the church, in the course of ministry, in the family, wherever. It's always good emotional intelligence, actually, to let people feel respected, let people feel regarded, make them know that they are appreciated. It is important, honest. It can win for you. It pays you at the end of the day, because it makes life a lot easier for you. It removes opposition of your way. It actually gives you better support, oiling your wheel, of progress and all that. It's just good. Make people feel respected. Let them feel regarded. Give them the honor due to them. It's good that way. So they had a lot of disputes, and all that. And I want to talk about that again here. Disputes, disagreements and disputes and things are going to happen. They will happen in the midst of the church. They will always happen in the midst of the church, because even the Bible teaches us in the book of Ephesians, chapter 4. It says, till we all come to the unity of the faith. In other words, for a long time to come, we're not going to have the unity of the faith. Each person will say, this is what I believe, this is my slight variation from your own, and all that. It will happen. But let us not look at that as division. No, we may disagree without dividing. Yeah, we may not agree on everything, but we're still together. Yeah, so we should understand that. They had not a small dispute. It was a big one. Oh, but we are still together. So that led them now to everybody. Okay, then let's take this whole thing to the headquarters. Yeah. So it is good to have a dispute resolution system in whatever it is you are involved in, whether you are in a church, whether in the workplace, in the family. You must have a system to resolve your dispute and your differences. That's one. Number two, it's always good to respect the people at the headquarters. If that is where it all started from, where it all came from, you show them respect. You may not necessarily agree on everything, but the respect due to them, just like we said a minute ago, the respect due to them, you still give the help. Okay, let us send people to the headquarters where the elders and the apostles, and we will listen to this whole thing, and they will come out with a position. That position they come out with, we are going to have to abide by. So that was it. We must always believe in resolving disputes and things like that, conflicts, disputes. They will always happen in any human system, but we must have a way by which we resolve them so that progress may happen. So the Bible says, being sent on their journey on their way by the church. We noticed something there. It was the church that sponsored the trip. Yeah, and we should say that there are times when you are on a church errand, and some people expect that you should love God so much that you should use your own money. It's not always true that you should use your own money. If you are comfortable enough to say, don't worry, Pastor, I'll use my own money, fine. But if you're not that comfortable and you need the church to put you on the way to sponsor you, so be it. At times when the church sends people on an errand, church should sponsor them. At times when it's not even an errand, it's just an aspect of ministry, and the church feels that, look, let us give money to these people from the purse. It's fine. We don't need to look at those people as if they are trying to be smart or whatever. Just, it happens in the Bible. The church put them on the way. So they passed through a couple of places, Phoenicia and Samaria. When he got to Samaria, they began to describe how the Gentiles had now given their life to Christ, and there was great joy. That's what the Bible says. You remember that Samaria was the very first place to receive the gospel outside Judea. When Philip went there and caused great joy in the city. Outside Judea, Samaria was the first. So hearing some more people like them, or maybe even in more distant, from the Jews, have received Christ now, they got very, very excited, and they brought a lot of joy, to the apostles, And then another thing I want to notice here is that Paul and Barnabas, they went on sharing their own testimony. Remember that in the company with which they were traveling together, the circumcision people were there. So they were not moved by the presence of the circumcision people. That should not stop me from giving my own testimony. And that's it again. You are together with some people. You don't all agree on the same thing. Nevertheless, you are still going ahead to share your own little bits, irrespective of what they feel. I'll still share my own. Already they know my stand. So as I went on to share my own stand, I've not offended them in any way. They already knew my stand, and all that. So that happened. And when they came to Jerusalem, they were received by the church, the apostles and the elders, and they reported all the things. But a certain sect of the Pharisees who did not believe in circumcision rose up and say, we must do this thing, and all that. So it shows you that it was a certain sect of the Pharisees that must have sent those people who went there, send them up north in the first instance. They were still there, and they were still like, we don't believe in this thing, even though we welcome you, welcome to Jerusalem, welcome to the headquarters, but these Pharisees were the Pharisees who had now become Christians. You must always understand that they were the Pharisees who had now become Christians. God has done fantastically well in that great revival, in that people you least expected actually give their lives to Christ. So these were the Pharisees, but they were not willing to let go of some of the old things. That's the thing about change. Some people don't want change. They are not ready to let go. This is the way we have always ever done it. As it was in the beginning, it's not ever shall be. That's not a thing to do. Listen to what God is doing. Listen to what God is saying. Listen to the next move of God. Like I was talking about prophets the other day, and then learn to flow along with the cloud. When the cloud of glory has moved, learn to flow with it. Don't sit down with, this is the way we used to do it. And it has to continue like that. Be ready for change. Be ready for movement. Be ready for improvement by the grace of God. Thank you so very much. It's been nice sharing time with you today, and we really appreciate your presence. God bless you.